Here are a couple of guys who have weird ideas about atheism.
Were you an atheist growing up?
No, I went through a period where I was kind of like a deist maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, like atheism never made sense to me. There's got to be a creator, I guess.
Why? If the creator doesn't need a creator, why does the universe need a creator?
It's weird, isn't it, how public opinion influences people? And by people, I mean me. You just think of the different waves of isms that roll through culture and make them seem maybe okay.
Like abolitionism, which isn't in the Bible or consistent with the Bible, but Christians want to take credit for now?
You know how they say people usually vote the way their neighbors vote? I mean, you see why that's the case. I mean, gay marriage thing, the LGBTQ stuff, like right now for many people, they go, whoa, that seems insane. Or like, whoa, two dudes getting married? Well, how is that ever a thing?
Right.
Dudes have always had romantic relationships with other dudes. Isn't it weirder that they aren't treated the way other romantic relationships are treated?
But if you lived during those decisions, man, the pressure was so strong. I remember seeing adverts like, don't be on the wrong side of history. Like, I don't want to be. I want to be on the in crowd, you know? And then the new atheism thing, that was just so pervasive. I don't know if a lot of younger people appreciate how pervasive that was. You just felt like an idiot. Dawkins was telling us outright that we were abusing our children if we taught them about Christianity. And who the hell wants to be an abuser of children? And again, when that stuff's in the air, it can, unless you're intelligent, like there are people like, I'm sure like yourself or other people I've had on the show, like Dr. Ed Fazer, you know, like who was a philosopher. So when like the new atheists came in, he actually said that Dawkins wouldn't know metaphysics from Metamucil.
Dawkins never claimed to know anything about metaphysics. The best parts of the God Delusion are the bits about evolution, about which he is an expert. The parts where he addresses philosophical arguments only give the most facile rebuttals to the most facile theist arguments. This was pointed out to him by both atheist and theist philosophers, and in a later edition, he addressed this by saying that nobody wants to read a book full of abstruse philosophical arguments.
And he said that during the height of it, you know, and it's just... Anyway, it's bizarre, but here's my point. It feels like the fog of the new atheism has rolled on by, and I'm looking around the landscape, and I see, you know, thoughtful, intelligent people who have what feel like or seem to be coherent, compelling even, arguments against the existence of God and Christianity. But they're not blowhards. They see, I don't know, there probably are blowhards out there, are there? I don't know, but the popular ones seem like they're nuanced and thoughtful and careful in a way that the new atheists weren't. So is it simply that the new atheists overplayed their hand and we all eventually saw it? Or if not, what is responsible for this resurgence of Christianity in the face of what seems to be a retreating atheism in culture?
With respect to Dawkins, Harris, and Hitchens, they had a really hard time taking even good faith criticism. I think a person has more credibility if they appear open to having their minds changed about the subjects on which they opine. The Four Horsemen, with the exception of Dennett, came off as stubborn heel diggers, and that got tiresome. The newer guys, and myself as well, will tell you what we need to be shown to be convinced.
I think it's that they promised paradise and delivered nothing.
When did they promise that? I don't remember that at all.
I mean, they had promised as if we just all became atheists, we'd enter an age of science and reason and leave superstition behind, and it would all be great and wonderful. And that doesn't work for humans.
How do you know? When has that ever been tried? I don't recall a time when everyone tried being atheist and it didn't work. Also, even if that were the case, why would that be evidence that Christianity is true?
They never replaced Christianity with anything to like build culture, to build society, to build, you know, groups and friendship circles. Because we go to church every week. We go to Bible study once a week in a lot of churches. You build culture. Atheism didn't offer that. It's basically just offered people a hammer to walk around and hit everyone else's worldview.
You two were just complaining about the pressure you felt to conform to new social movements, and now you're extolling the virtues of a belief system that effectively enforces cultural conformity.
Which is fun.
It can be fun for a while, but
which is why people did it.
Eventually your arm gets tired and you're like, well, now what do I do? I mean, think about though what atheism really offers the average person. If you're a academic professor, if you're a media spokesperson, if you're the influencer, you have purpose and meaning. What does the stock boy have in atheism? What is
Trolling. He gets to go online and say snarky things to stupid Christians and get thumbs up on his comment.
That is pretty fun.
if he gets a couple? Yeah, he's lucky. Like, what does the average Joe get from this? Nothing. He gets hedonism.
That sounds pretty awesome to me.
Yeah, there you go. He gets that's something.
You can watch your porn, play your video games, get in your fights, and then go home and die in a couple years.
This is a very restricted view of hedonism. There are lots of other kinds of pleasure you can seek. Mike seems to think that fulfillment, connection with other people, etc., the healthier pleasures, are only accessible to religious people. They are not.
Humans were not made to live like that. We get really depressed after a while. Sure, you can be angry and enjoy the pleasure for a little while, but eventually you're like, what's all this for?
If all this is for glorifying God, which Christians tell me is our real reason for living, that seems like a pretty picayune ultimate purpose to me. I don't see the appeal of dedicating one's life to making our Creator look cool.
So atheism doesn't offer the average man anything. Whereas Christianity, you tell them that, the creator of the universe died for you. And he's going
to plan for your life.
Plan for your life.
I don't see the appeal of that either. Even if I did, this seems like a silly reason to believe that Christianity is true. The fact that if God exists, that means that he has work that he's assigned to me and will judge me for not doing it is neither enticing nor a convincing argument for his existence. Also, the idea that he died for me doesn't mean as much given that he didn't even stay dead. He gave up his Easter long weekend for me. Maybe I owe him a 2-4 of Molson.
Your suffering means something. It's redemptive. It's making you a better, deeper human being.
Why couldn't he have just made me perfect in the first place? Did this all-powerful God not have the power to do that?
Yeah. I think all these young...
All will be made well. Sorry.
Why wasn't it made well in the first place? I know the standard response is free will, but that's not actually in the Bible. I'm not convinced it actually exists, and I don't understand why free will is valuable if it leads to so much suffering. Why is moral corruptibility more valuable than moral infallibility?
Yeah. I think all these young people raised by secular parents are asking that. What are we here for? And that's why a lot of them are gravitating towards Catholicism or Orthodoxy.
I don't understand why "we're here to glorify God" is a compelling answer to that question, much less a reason to believe that such a God exists.
Or even high church Protestants. Yeah. Shout out to Redeem Zoomer. Like, you get that kind of stuff. So what I think is, and so people are like, these young people are like, I need something firm to hold on to. And they're going to the ancient traditions of Christianity because they want something that is real.
If they wanted a religion that worshipped something that is clearly real, why wouldn't they become sun worshippers?
I think that's right. I think that's a good assessment of how things are. Nothing was ushered in, and it was like, you will be more rational. Also, men need tampons in certain instances.
If you're confused by that, why not ask someone from the American Psychological Association, or the American Psychiatric Association, or the American Medical Association, or the American Academy of Pediatrics, or the World Health Organization to explain it to you instead of dismissing it out of hand?
You're like, I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, even some of the new atheists were like, that's not what we meant.
Just as Dawkins doesn't know metaphysics from Metamucil, he also doesn't understand psychology. Also, what does this have to do with atheism? And again, if you want to know what happened, why don't you ask the experts who form the consensus on this issue how it is that they've come to the conclusions that they have? You should try it. Dawkins and Harris should try it too.
Like, you went too far.
Well, what's funny is, as atheism was beginning to morph into what the dictionary would call a religion, okay, so we have a set of beliefs, and these set of beliefs pertain to things like the afterlife, the existence of God, how human beings should live, but it's not a religion.
Atheism says nothing about how human beings should live. Maybe you could make the case that humanism is a religion. I think even some humanists would agree with that. But atheism entails no moral prescriptions whatsoever.
You're like, okay, but it feels like a religion. Like, also, we should meet in groups, right? They even had atheist church. Do you remember they were trying that?
They tried it. Didn't work, yeah.
Unitarian Universalist churches are effectively atheist churches, and they're doing just fine.
That's really funny. And so what would have happened, man? Imagine that. And then what happened, I guess, was even though they weren't able to usher anything in, there was enough of a thing that had ushered in that then started to splinter, right?
Yeah.
Who's that Matt Dillahunty who married that dude who thought he was a woman?
Did Matt and Arden get married? If that's true, congratulations to them. They've always seemed like a very happy couple. Also, why do you have to be such an asshole about it?
Oh, yeah, I know, Matt, yeah. He has me blocked now.
Bless Matt. Gosh, this is why the opinions of the world are sand. They are nothing. They are dust. Because there was a time when Matt Dillahunty seemed like the smartest guy in the room.
He still seems pretty smart to me.
Really?
No, I take that back.
I'm not saying he's an idiot.
No,
but-
he's definitely not an idiot, but like he would swing a punch and you didn't want to get in the way of it. But then the more debates he did, the more everyone was like, hang on, all he's saying is I'm not convinced.
Exactly.
What did you expect him to say? I'll go a bit further than that. I'll explain that the reason why I'm not convinced is because, as best I can tell, the assertion that God exists, at least according to the common definitions of God that I hear from apologists and theologians, is self-contradictory.
He sounds aggressive, but
And when I debated him, you know, I responded with,
what did you say when he said
I don't care.
That's good.
I don't care if you're convinced. I'm right.
Why do you engage in apologetics if you don't care about convincing anybody? Isn't that the whole point of apologetics?
You know, it's
I got to watch that debate. I forgot that you debated
I
him.
debated him twice. Yeah.
I just remember Andrew Wilson
yeah.
ripping him, as we say in Australia, a new a-hole.
Andrew Wilson couldn't rip a fart.
That's an Australian saying.
And
It's
Matt
disgusting. I'd like to
accent-
apologize to everybody, but that is. But I mean, Matt Dillahunt. He rage quitted.
Yeah, and that if he would have just stayed there and had the conversation, 10% of the people that watched that would have. The fact that he rage quit made more people watch that.
That's right.
That's Wilson's whole shtick. He's a bad faith rage baiter. To everyone who helps me out on Patreon, you're a big help. Thanks so much.